Hey everyone, this is Savannah Jewell with Fame Magazine, and I'm sitting down with Tolga Karacelik about his film Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. Tolga, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you, Savannah?
So good. Thank you so much for asking. I'm really excited to talk with you. Thank you for taking the time out to do this with me today.
It's my
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, my dream is also to be a director, so I love talking to anyone who's actually like doing the thing in the field, doing the work. So this is super fun. First of all, obviously my first question is going to be related to the title, as everyone else's first question, I think, which I initially was just the long version, right? And now it's shortened to psychotherapy and then like the long version by choice. What's the story behind this giant title?
I think it tells a little bit about the movie, don't you think? Like, it's basically a synopsis.
To-
But, but like, I always had the title from the beginning. I wanted it to. I always make things that I want to watch, and something that takes my attention is then I would definitely go and see a movie titled something like this. I would
Mhm.
definitely go and see the movie. But
Yeah,
of course, we had some difficulties on the journey, especially for the VOD platforms or the cinemas that will be showing it how it's going to be written all the time. I
yeah,
would love to make a documentary about people placing those letters in front of the theater or something like that.
totally. I'm there. Count me in. Um, I
But
really,
then psychotherapy at its it. As
yeah,
from the distributor, it's psychotherapy, the shallow therapy, like itself. First, I was against it, but like I totally understand the thing. And I also like the idea that it's actually longer at the end. Psychotherapy, the shallow therapy, like you said, like about a serial killer.
yeah,
So,
totally.
so
It,
I went okay with it.
yeah, it's so unique. And I think like the short version also does a good job at summarizing it. So it's like either or, I think is a good choice.
Focuses more on the therapy side, couple side, so I was okay with that too.
Totally. Yeah. I really love the film. I think it was so fun to watch. I wanted to dive into the intention behind the film first. So, what sparked the initial idea for psychotherapy? I believe it was a personal experience, kind of, right?
This time it was not. My own movies are personal experiences, but like Tollwood was me getting out of my Tollwood. My first film, second film, IB was about the political situation back in Turkey. Butterflies is what I had written after I lost my uncle.
Mhm.
And this time I just enjoyed writing it. I think I'd used it before in another interview, but I will repeat it again. Like I think Tom York once said that making the fourth album, he realized doesn't need to suffer to create. This time it was painless for me too. I was just enjoying writing. Then I just didn't hold back, just wanted to write. And then the idea of making it about couples and having a belief in being a couple also was always there in my mind. So I used this setup of this serial killer parts and therapy parts to focus more on try to understand on, like Don Quixote said, like if you believe in it, then it becomes reality. So I think that's one of the things that holds couples together. If you continue believing being a couple, then you're a couple. Like the family, believe in being a family, which I also questioned in Butterfly. So, and also that's trying to write about something with the same words in a consultancy session of how to become a serial killer and using the same words in a
Yeah.
marriage counseling session.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of just using it over and over again, like kind of like a blueprint on each other, top of each other. And
Yeah.
that was also, can I pull this off as a writer? So that
You
was
did.
also appealing. Thank you. Thank
Yeah, you did, and we're here. I want to talk about the complexity of the layers of the film because I feel like there's a lot. But I wanted to first ask, do you have like a personal fascination with detective work or psychology? Like, there's a lot of strong ish forensic undertone throughout the film. So
It's all my films. They always thought that I had some really interesting psychology, but I don't. Like I never read psychology. I'm not too much reading psychology. I studied for Franklin, but I got, I think, huge problems about understanding myself. Like,
Mm,
and while I'm writing, I always solve issues about myself. That's my process, kind of like a therapy session.
yeah,
While I'm writing, and the thing that I try to rewrite, why do I choose that topic? Because it stays with me 8 years. So 8 years is a long time. So
yeah,
you grow up with the idea, you think about an issue, and then it becomes really okay in your life too. And you dig more and more. And then I think there's something everybody has. We are all same. We have parallels.
Yeah, and I
So
think
I
that's
try to go around, I try to go universal by looking deep in time.
yeah, I think that's the magical thing about art is that you learn so much about yourself throughout the process. I think that's like inevitable a little bit. But back to the layering of the story. So we have like crumbling marriage, fake therapist with the question of is he giving murder advice? So like what's the trick to keeping everything coherent but surprising? Because like when I started watching it, I like to watch a movie blindly. I don't want to know what's happening. So I started watching it and then it like turned into something else and then there's a lot of layers added to it. So I'm curious about like what how do you keep things like um still making sense, if you will.
Yeah, I always try to push that limit too. Like,
Yeah.
and for me, feeling is more important than making sense. Like, because if you move with your instinct, then you first enjoy the ride.
Mm,
Second, this ride is only for me. Like, I need to be the only lighthouse liking this. I can't think of other people. Would they like it? Would dislike it? So it's all around me. So that's it's the first layer. Then the actors come, the people come, the DP comes, etc. So the layers add up, etc. But the first layer,
yeah.
and what you're talking about, the layers within that first layer is just created to satisfy me actually.
Mm,
And there's an issue about awards. There's an issue about creating, writing. What is it for you? Like being a successful in art, also another issue in the film. And couple, again, a therapy and
yeah.
trying to remember who you were in this relationship is another part. So all of those are the things that I was thinking in that time being while I was writing it. So
Mm,
for example, that award thing comes from my last film won the Grand Jury Award at Sundance Film Festival. And I
mm,
was like saying, am I getting a little bit too much full of myself because I cannot right now thinking about that award thing? Is it making me, is
right,
it blocking me?
right.
So you make fun of it. And because that's also in my family genes too. When I got that award, I called my mom and the first mom, we got the Grand Jury Award at Sundance. The first thing that she told me was like, oh, we always thought that you were megalomaniac. Congratulations.
Yeah, I definitely I think it's hard sometimes to like not look at like an end result or like a like you're saying a reward at the end of creativity, but
Yeah.
also much healthier to keep it focused and keep it contained.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you can't because it stays with you 8 years. Like you can't think about
yeah,
the end result while you're doing it because it's one brick at a time.
totally. I really want to talk about the specific scene that I keep thinking about. So the scene at the red light with Britt Lauer and John Magaro. I was initially like, okay, obviously she doesn't like her husband, given the energy at the dinner scene before. So I was interpreting it as she's trying to like get rid of him in some dark, extreme way. But then the conversation during the onion cutting was like such a good like roundabout way to encapsulate their relationship to prove her point. I really love that. So the onion scene with Britt Lauer with like the remnants of her mascara, of her obviously crying, which is also so funny. The mix of like absurdity and emotional weight. How did that moment come together and how many onions did you guys actually go
I think
through?
the scariest line in that scene is, I just sound like the sound.
Mm,
Why are
yeah,
you getting this much on? I just like the sound.
insane.
Yeah. I, I, I really enjoyed writing that scene because like, first of all, about those things that I can get revenge from myself.
Yeah.
And I think that was a scene that I always hear woman reading the script laugh out loud because
Mhm.
it tells us something about toxic masculinity also in a way.
Right.
And so, yeah, I enjoyed writing that scene, and she is so like we understand Susie so much in that scene,
Yeah.
and living it so good.
Yeah.
Like that energy hidden inside if I'm like this, but there's a reason because I suffer a lot if I'm not like this. And
Mhm.
Susie is literally shouting that without shouting.
Yeah.
So, and we see Keen from her perspective, and then the characters become three-dimensional. That they're just not doing something. They have a history. Then we see the history. What was hidden
Yeah.
behind that look. So I do, I do love dialogues. I do love writing dialogues. Although sometimes people call me that I'm sometimes writing it like praise. Yes, I do agree with that sometimes, but that scene was delivered so good by the actor. Thank you.